Welcome back to another video. I think I found it most interesting and most curious item of the news of today is the blackout in Europe, which has hit heavily Spain, Portugal and partially parts of France. Happened this morning for about a few hours and energy restored. Total chaos it was. Transport, telecommunications and other utility services which needs electricity to make it function, and a major part of society, industry, civilian and military thingy bobs as well. Now, few probably of the causes. Problem on the French side, there was could be a problem with one of the high tension pylons. Don't forget, Europe has a highway of pylons of electrical cables which passes, and obviously each country sells energy to each other, megawatt hours, as they say, and there could be a fault on the lines, and it took various hours to repair it because they are pretty fast to respond due to faults, lines falling down, and various hideous environmental areas these pylons could occur. Two, which I suspect the most, a cyber attack. Some foreign actor or some home actor is probing the system, and slowly these cyber attacks, which sometimes happen to some countries, electrical grid, telecommunications, the web, for example, which services use, and they could be interrupted. It has happened in the past, and it's not ruled out as won't happen again. It's just only a little taste for someone to probe, to get in the system, and when it comes a time to bring down the whole system, flick of a switch, the whole thing comes down. It's impossible. It was a transformer which had blown, because those are very costly pieces of hardware, and they're not easy to obtain in a short period of time. They have to be built. They're mainly built in China, and with all the problems with China, the West, don't need a burnout transformer. Well, the thing is, when the lights go out, probably for good, society as we know it will fall, because more longer it takes, these so-called blackouts, whether it's probably demonstrative, probing, tentative, more time passes, more it has an impact where it's been hit, because all our services, telecommunications, emergency, utilities, industry and civilian and government structures, they use electricity. They probably may have backup generators for a short period of time. When the fuel runs out, you need electricity to make the fuel pumps work. So slowly, this could cause panic. Even the food distribution. Usually supermarkets, they have food for 3 days maximum. In this period we're living in, they don't have huge stock. Especially when that type of food, with frozen food, fresh foods, has to use some type of refrigeration system, it can go off. Hospitals, without electricity, you can't keep people off support machines, or even do surgery in a sterile environment. You have to do it in the dark with makeshift means. A bit like the day after, or Fred's. It's like 1900s treating people in hospitals. More or less it'll be like that. And it goes to show how fragile a vulnerable system is. More time passes, more worse it gets for the population. Probably the powers that be, they could be responsible, even a foreign agent, you know. They have to find a boogeyman, don't they, to accuse, to create an enemy. This is probably one of the psyops which we could experience in the near future from our governments. They need an enemy to go to war because they know their corrupt empire is falling, and therefore, and like in all empires which fall, they end up going to war with others. The last desperate attempt. They're probably the enemy within, or the foe which is overseas is probably probing the system. And when it comes to the right time to take it down, you don't need probably an EPM or nuclear bomb. You can make society go in chaos. You can switch it off forever if it's a cyber attack of some type. That's probably why they say, European Union says you must have 72 hours of supplies to survive. This could be one of the emergencies of the future. Probably these emergencies in the might even last a bit more longer than 72 hours. Minimum week, 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, more than a year. Because if society falls, government falls, continuity of the governments will at a certain level continue when the resources are finished to create a vacuum of power.